Today we're going to take a deep look at Lost Lake. Lost Lake is accessible along the north shore of Cook's Bay. It is 45 acres and entirely located in Mound, Minnesota. It's basically a swamp, very shallow and made up of mostly cattails and reeds. However, there is a channel cut through the middle of it, and it turns out that channel has a very interesting story. In the 1850s, Mound City began as a resort community on the shores of Cook's Bay, about where Surfside Park is now. Hotels like Matthias Cook's Lakeview House and later Edward Bartlett's Bartlett House, as well as many others, dominated the community. There were no roads to Mound, and visitors arrived by steamboat and later streetcar boat. The area was referred to by the locals as Busy Corners. All this changed in 1900 when James J. Hill and his Great Northern Railroad came along. In 1882, Hill built the Lafayette Hotel on the shores of Crystal Bay. Just west of Wayzata, he built a spur off his St. Paul, Minneapolis, and Manitoba Railroad that would bring guests right to the doorstep of his new hotel. This worked so well that 5 years later he built the Hotel del Otero on the shores of Spring Park Bay and continued the railroad spur to that location. In 1900, the now Great Northern Railway wanted to continue the spur on to St. Bonifacius. The line would eventually continue even farther west and be known as the Hutchinson Spur. It passed about a half-mile north of Mound City, and Hill built a depot for Mound at that location. The location was just south of what is now Shoreline Drive and Commerce. 6 years later, most of Mound's businesses had moved from Busy Corners up to the depot site. There still weren't many roads in the area. People got around by railroad and by steamboats on the lake. The problem was that there wasn't a connection between the railroad and the steamboats. They were located a half a mile apart. In 1906, the city of Mound thought they had found a solution. A canal could easily be dredged through Lost Lake. In March, a petition was passed around to build the canal. Though there was some opposition, the county eventually approved the proposal. For about $3,000, Captain John Johnson dredged a 30-foot wide canal through the swamp, which was said to be deep enough to float the largest steamers. Fred Bartlett, whose father owned the Bartlett House Hotel, made the first trip up the canal in his steamboat on October 5th, 1906. Due to the fact that piling was not used in the construction of the canal, the banks quickly filled in with silt, which required dredging 3 years later. At that time, they planted willow trees to shore up the banks. Until recently, the stumps of these willow trees could still be seen. By the 1920s, advances in the automobile and a better road network brought an end to steamboat traffic on Lake Minnetonka. Passenger service on the Great Northern also came to an end, and in 2001, the last freight train left Hutchinson. Today, the railroad easement is managed by the Three Rivers Park District as the Dakota Rail Trail, a 28-mile walking and bicycle path that goes from Wayzata to Lester Prairie. At the north terminus of the Lost Lake Channel, the city of Mound created the Mound Harbor District. It includes apartments and condominiums, as well as a lot of parkland. Municipal docks allow boaters access to downtown Mound. You can tie up your boat and get an ice cream cone at the Lost Lake Creamery or a pizza at Carboni's. In 1967, the Great Northern Depot was moved to Surfside Park, where it serves as a community center. Ironically, if James J. Hill had built the depot on this location in the first place, none of this would have been necessary.
Hey! You made it to the end of the video. Hit like and subscribe for more great videos about Lake Minnetonka.